What's going on, you guys? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. We're going to be going over the stock market today, doing our daily review like we do just about every single day. At least I try. We're going to start with the heat map. And you can see big tech still getting hit pretty hard. Costco had a rough day. Google had another rough day. Eli Lilly, Google, Apple, NVDA, Microsoft, all having rough days. Tesla had a bit of a rebound, but as we'll get into the charts, you'll see that we are still below the downtrend line. Looking at the ETFs, SPY was down 0.5%. Qs were down a little over 1%. Semiconductors down 1.83%. The SOX was down over 2%. But the Russell was up 1.23%. So maybe Tom Lee is right. Maybe small caps, that trade is here to stay. It does seem like a bit of a safe haven at the moment. Speaking of safe havens, where'd it go? XLV, healthcare, down, utilities, down. So these were defensive positions, but we had oil production, energy, biotech, regional banking up again, industrials was up. Let's see here, retail, home construction, home builders, all of them were up today. So it was a bit of a mixed market. Tech continues to feel the pain. All right, we're going to dive into the charts, and we're going to start with the S&P 500. But before we do, here's my disclaimer. Trading is risky. This is not financial advice, for entertainment purposes only. This is my opinion, so trade at your own risk. But I do hope that you learn something and get value from this video. And if you would you go ahead and smash that like button for me? All right, let's pull up the charts. All right, so here's the SPY. Let me go to the daily. Actually, the 4 hour is a little bit more interesting because, to start the day off, we had a bit of a whipsaw. We came up, touched the Kijinsen, or actually that was Tenkan-sen. We touched our moving average, came down, hit the bottom of the cloud. Then we opened up in the cloud and closed right at the bottom of the cloud. So tried to recover and then puked right back again. But we are finding support at the bottom of the cloud. And you can see here's the cloud right here. We closed this gap, and that is where pretty much right where we closed the day. Now the fact that we came up, tapped I believe this is the 10-day moving average, and then rejected. And we also rejected this 542 area, 541.71, 542. We rejected that area where we closed yesterday, and closed lower. So I do see more downside in the future. I do not think that this is over, and you can see the RSI levels are continuing to go down, but have not yet hit the 30, which I'm not going to feel comfortable reinvesting all my money until we get there, or I see some kind of signs of reversal prior to getting there. But I do have the next level, 530, 532. I believe, if we push through the cloud, we might find some support there. I also have a GAN fan level, which did hold support in a couple different instances. And that is confluent at the 530, 532 area for the SPY. Moving to the Qs. Let's bring this down. Qs are in rougher shape than the SPY. We are on a date with destiny to this GAN angle. Actually, is that a GAN angle or is that a trend line? That is a trend line. So we have a trend line of support sitting at about 450. 450, depending on when we get there. Let's go to the daily real quick. So we did close within the cloud. At the bottom of the cloud and this trend line are confluent at 450. So that would be my target for the next level of support. 450 is also, as you can see, it's played a role in the past. So I would suspect that we're going to find some support in that area, hopefully in the near future. However, if we go to this chart here and look at the RSIs, we aren't quite yet to the 30. We closed right on the 200-day moving average today. So we have dipped below in the past temporarily. And you can see here we have a fib level in the cloud, you know, sitting 440, 450. So we could see some more downside action before some sort of recovery occurs. Also, you know, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So usually it comes in 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully we're nearing the bottom here and all this is going to be over soon. At least with the Qs, you can see we're about to hit. So that's a good thing. We'll keep our eyes on that. Let's take a look at the Russell. The Russell was stronger today. We closed above Tankinson. Look at that. Closing above Tankinson on the daily. So we are still in an uptrend on the Russell. That's awesome. Okay, let's take a look at my chart here for the Russell. So we tried to tap this 224.14 level and it rejected. So we're still getting price rejection just short of 225. However, we did close, like I said, we closed above Tankinson. We closed above the 10-day moving average after closing under it the day prior. So that gives a buy signal. So I'm going to be holding my shares, and I would expect this to continue to be strong while the rest of the market continues to be weak. All right, let's look at semiconductors. Semiconductors had a very interesting day today. I prefer SMH over the SOX because it tends to outperform, and it has, I believe it has a lower fee. You can see here we found some support at the bottom of the cloud, but I do feel that we have a date with destiny at the 227 level. And I think I might have the SOX here. Let's draw a fib, or not a fib, a GAN level for this, just so you guys that trade the SOX can do this. All right, I have my GAN drawn up now. You can see, you know, this GAN level, bottom of the arc, all this stuff, support, resistance, et cetera, we broke through violently through the cloud and everything. Next level of support I'm seeing for the SOX is about 207. I mean, there are some, you know, supply areas that are important, which I will draw there. There. So yeah, 208 would be my guess before we find some kind of support and can continue doing our thing. But yeah, the semi sell-off has been real, and I have been making some good trades on SOXL and SOXS, the leveraged funds. Once again, trading is risky. Those are for day trades. I wouldn't hold them unless you know what you're doing. But it can be a way to hedge your portfolio, for instance. Like my portfolio reflects the NASDAQ very closely. So, you know, having a position in the SQQQ, for instance, is a good way to hedge. Okay, speaking of tech, let's just take a look at VGT here. So we landed inside of the cloud. Not looking very good for VGT. XLK, kind of the same thing, right? So we landed at, you know, the top of this was support. You know, the bottom of this consolidation range is right here. So we could see a 203, 200 level for XLK. Obviously, we are in a really rough situation. I almost want to look at the weekly here. So we closed under the Kijun-sen. Well, the week isn't done yet, I suppose, but we did blast past Kijun-sen. So that's not good. I want to take a look at VGT here. VGT is holding up a little bit better than XLK, which is why I like VGT a little bit better. Okay, let's take a look at the Mag 7, starting with NVIDIA. So on the weekly, obviously we're closing under the Tenkan-sen. On the daily, we had a bit of an indecision bar. We are inside of the cloud. And you can see the GAN level sits at about 101. And that did serve as support in the past. Let me take a look at the Heikin-Ashi candles to see. Yeah, so we're still, you know, strong downtrend for NVIDIA. Obviously, the semiconductor is getting hammered. Tesla finding support at the top of the arc still. However, like I was saying in my video yesterday, you're going to want to keep an eye on this downtrend line. You can see we tried to get over it and came down. We closed green, but we were not able to get over this downtrend line. And this downtrend line exists from all the way at the top at 414. So, you know, hopefully by the end of the week, we pop up over the cloud or something. That would be really cool. But I kind of doubt it. Kind of doubt that's going to happen based on that earnings call. Apple losing support at the GAN angle, finding support at the arc. Now, the scary thing about the arc is that you can find support within the arc as you go all the way down to 196, which would undo this whole move that we had right here. I just don't think that's going to happen. I just can't really believe it. But it could. But it could. We're going to take a look at the real candles, though. Oh, not hollow candles, just regular candles. Okay. So, bit of an indecision candle. We closed down low again. Closed at 217, pretty much right around where we opened. Down point, how much was it down? Down 0.48% versus the NASDAQ, which is down a percent. So the Apple is holding up a little bit better than the NASDAQ overall. Meta getting very close to the 439 GAN angle level. I would suspect that this level holds for it, especially since it has pretty low PE. Yeah, we'll have to see. Obviously, they didn't like Google's earnings. We'll see if they like Meta's earnings. It's trading down because Google traded down. They're both in telecom, but I don't know how they're similar at all, to be honest. I guess one has YouTube, one has Facebook, but it's about where the similarities end, in my opinion. Okay, Amazon, how did that end up today? Pierced the cloud, closed back inside of it. Okay. So, finding support at like 175, I'm guessing. I want to take a look at my chart for this one. Okay, so on the weekly, we're still closing, you know, we are on our way to closing above we're still above the 50 week, but the daily, I'm guessing what is this, the 200 day? So we closed under the 200 day moving average today after closing right on it yesterday. So down only a little bit. This 175 level, I think, is a psychological support level. It's also a fib level that I've drawn. So could find support there. Otherwise, I mean, geez, we could see a 155. I don't think so, though. Our RSI is pretty low at this point. So, and there's no guarantee. Just because you hit a low RSI doesn't mean, okay, everything rebounds and everything's good to go again. But you could see during these dips, you know, we came down and then that was the low. Today, you can see we bounced up, or the last few days, we bounced up and bounced back down lower, right? Right. So I'm seeing more downside in these names. I'm still holding half a position just in case I'm wrong. I like to stay invested to some degree because the truth is I'm part trader, part investor. If you buy and hold over the long run, like you'll be fine, you'll be good. But if I can get a little bit of an edge and skip some of the downside and then hop back in when prices are lower, I can get a little percent here, a little percent there, you know what I'm saying? All right, Google, speaking of Google. How did Google do today? Google landed right on its 200-day moving average today. Wow. I see a gap here between 164 and 161. That would put it out of the cloud. Does it deserve that? I don't know. Google's getting pretty close to the bottom of the RSI. I'd be shocked if it didn't hit, but at the same time, actually, let's take a look at the 4-hour and see if it, yeah, it just sold all the way down for the last 4 hours, just straight down. I would say Google's got one more bad day in it at the most before there's some kind of bounce up, just because the RSIs are getting to that point where there's got to be some kind of give and take. I want to take a look at Google on here. So it's sitting right in my little buy zone here. It closed under this GAN level and the GAN angle. So there is some support here right at the 170 level. If you see some like price action here where it starts to reverse, and it is the 200-day moving average, that's a lot of confluence. So that's kind of intriguing to me. At the same time, I'm not very interested in catching a falling knife. So I'd like to see some, you know, some kind of reversal indicators happening here before jumping back into Google. Or jumping, yeah. Microsoft had a rough one today too, closing right at the top of the arc and the cloud. Fell right through this GAN level of 429, really sad to see, and this GAN angle. So I would suspect it's going to find some support here. Let's see where the RSIs are sitting for Microsoft. So RSIs are almost to 30. This is the lowest the RSI has been at all year since October. So I don't think it has much further to go. But it could. And yeah, it's sitting right at the 76% fib level too. So Microsoft and Google could have a little bit of a rebound tomorrow, if we're lucky. Yeah, we might see hopefully some Heikin-Ashi candles that indicate, I use Heikin-Ashi candles to indicate trend reversals. I see no trend reversal at the moment. Obviously these 2 days were scary, scary days in the markets. Eli Lilly also had a kind of rough one today, sitting right on its 200-day moving average, tapping the bottom of the cloud and then closing somewhere in the middle. Maybe if I look at the the monthly, very interesting. So that it's tapped the 10-month moving average as well today. And on the weekly, we're sitting on the 50 on the weekly. We tapped the 50 on the weekly. So rough day for Eli Lilly. What a fall from grace. Look at these fib levels I have drawn. We were over the 261.8 and we're all the way through the 161.8, almost to the 100. We just about tapped the 100. So that's really a brutal move for Eli Lilly. Kind of a shame. And This thing has been on a tear. I would not suspect the RSI is going to get all the way to 30 before this thing turns the ship around. It's not tech, you know. It is a big name, but it's not tech, so not too worried about it. Costco also had a really rough day today. Sitting on this GAN level, closing on this GAN level. This bottom GAN fan, it's got to hold. It's got to hold. Actually, you know, I should probably put it right here instead of that earnings pop, because that's not really accurate. So 808 would be the level to watch for this. Let's take a look at the daily. Sitting right on this fib channel. So it found support right on this fib fan right here. We could be at the bottom of the new channel. Let's cross our fingers. You know, the RSI is pretty low. The RSI doesn't really, what I can see, it never really gets to 30, at least since October. But this is the worst move since October, so could happen. Netflix. Let's see how Netflix shook out today. Indecision candle once again. Closed basically right within the price action of yesterday, and right on this fib fan. This fib fan does seem to be holding up. Is the bottom in for Netflix? Let's take a look at the GAN levels. Bottom of this, 616. Bottom of the cloud, 610. And we have a GAN level of 594. Yeah, so there's some levels of support fairly nearby, and Netflix has already gone through its earnings. So it'll probably still trade with sympathy in the market, but I would hope that most of the majority of the pain is over for Netflix. Let's take a look at Spotify. Spotify's been an interesting one. Oh no. Oh no. Spotify. That sucks. Okay. So obviously it popped on earnings, indecision candle, and this is a bearish reversal pattern. Heikinashis are still technically green, but I would not expect this to just go up now. We made a lower low than the first day, so we closed right at the prior high of the prior cycle before earnings. So this will be interesting to watch, because Spotify, like, it popped and then it's still a tech stock and should be a big tech stock, but it hasn't quite earned that moniker yet. Let's take a look at GE. Here's a name that I bought on earnings, had a good gain, and then lost it all. So maybe Spotify will suffer the same fate. I'd be shocked though if we got under the cloud or something. I really just think it's trading in sympathy with the market. And today it actually closed up because industrials did a little bit better. So I still like GE for the long run, and I like it for this quarter as well. I think industrials are going to do a little bit better, especially as we head into the election. You know, they think Donald Trump, you know, if he wins, then industrials will do well. I actually think either president, industrials are going to do well. So cool. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been interesting. USD. Found support at the bottom of the cloud, closing under Tenkinson for another day. I want to get a little bit more granular, take a look at the 4 hour. So yeah, we're in the cloud on the 4 hour as well. Really, this 66,000 level is like the line in the sand, and we're just kind of like treading water around it right now. You know, if we get down to 52,318, that'd be bad, because then that would undo like much of this. However, I don't think Bitcoin's going to trade with the NASDAQ as much as people think that it will. I mean, it has suffered a downturn since then, but I'm bullish Bitcoin still. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum got its spot ETF today, or the other day, and it didn't like that, apparently. It looks like we are headed right back to 3,000. Unfortunately, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I really don't see any levels of major support. I suppose you got one, yeah, like right at 3,000. So, yeah, that's not good. Now, it has served as support multiple times in the past. So I would suspect that it holds again. But you could see some sideways action for some time. Let's check on XRP. Okay, hold on. Okay, so XRP finding support right now at the top of the cloud. This chart looks a lot stronger than the other charts I just looked at. We did close, actually here, let's go to a daily. We're still above Tenkinson on the daily. We're flirting with it, but we are above it. And we're still green on Heikin-Ashi candles, at least for the moment. So XRP is looking stronger than the other ones. Solana was looking strong the other day. Let's check on Solana. Finding support at Tenkinson and this GAN level, I would suspect. I like that. I like this. I like it when I see wicks. Here, let's actually look at the real candle. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so it's sitting right on it right now. It's going to have to close at like 170 by the end of the day for this to be a successful test of this level. We do have a GAN level at 162 sitting right below it, but we want to see this hold, and there has been price rejection below it today, so hopefully this can move higher. And finally, the Dogecoin falling under the GAN level, falling under the GAN angle. Not good. Doge was looking like the weakest chart for all the crypto. Like, it rejected off here, it rejected these two other GAN levels, so we could be coming right back down to like 9 cents, unfortunately. You see before, you know, there were wicks, but it held, and then it finally broke. This one just broke. So I don't like to see that at all. Finally, we're going to do a little bonus. We're going to do SOFI. SOFI falling out of the arc yet? Did it? Did it fall out of the arc? Fell out of the arc. But had a nice green day today. So what do you make of that? Let's take a look at the Heikin-Ashis. Heikin-Ashis are indicating we're still in a downtrend. Let's get a little more granular, because obviously, yeah, so like on the 4 hour, it looks like we're in the arc on the 4 hour. I don't know how that works. Interesting. So yeah, SOFI's still in play. Maybe this down move is over. Obviously, the Russell did well today, so it's going to trade along with the Russell, I've noticed. Finally, let's look at the VIX. Daily. We got higher on the VIX, and about as high as we go is this 21 level. well, 21 to 23. Can we return back to 12 on the VIX? You know, we got over the cloud. Let's look at the real candles. Look at that. That's interesting. Open and closed right at the same spot, right at $18. Let's look at the 4-hour chart on Heikin-Ashi. Okay. Yeah, that's scary to see. So obviously on the Ichimoku, we tapped Tenkan-sen, and now it looks like we're going to be getting more volatility on Friday just based on this price action. That's what it looks like. I mean, we could get rejected off the 1935 level again and finally get session disconnected. And finally get some relief. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we still have more volatility heading our way. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining me on this daily recap. If you enjoyed this video, if you got value from it, would you please hit that like button? It means a lot, helps me get this video out to more people. If you haven't subscribed yet, please join us. I try to put out videos every day. I'm going to be at a music festival this weekend, so I might have some videos scheduled to come out or something about like overall topics, but I might not be doing a daily recap on Friday. Finally, comments. Leave a comment below. That also helps. You know, if there's a particular stock you'd like me to take a look at next time, particular index, or, you know, if you just want to let me know how your portfolio did. Is anybody out there outperforming right now? What stocks are you holding that are doing really well? For instance, I picked up Lockheed Martin. That's doing really well. I also picked up the directional daily. One sec. Let me look at this. Right, so I picked up the regional banks 3X shares the other day because we're doing pretty good. You can see here on the daily, if I go to the Heikin-Ashi candles, we're in an uptrend. So I do have a trade on with this. I'm really hoping that this continues to move because, you know, we've broken above these highs and there might not be anything but air all the way up to 198, which means that this thing will print money for me if I'm lucky. Always trade smart, use wise stop losses, hit that like button, and I'll catch you on the next video. Risky Ryan out.